An important aspect of language is collocation, how words go together with more than usual frequency. As an example of collocation, we could take the word effort. If we read or hear the word effort, there's a very strong chance that the verb associated with it will be the verb make, to make an effort. And also, if there's an adjective qualifying the word effort, it's much more likely to be the word big than the word large. So it's one thing for learners to learn individual words in English or any other language they're learning. It's another thing, and something very important, to learn how words tend to go together. Getting learners to find and notice word partnerships needn't be hard to do. Some simple activities can not only help learners begin to learn word partnerships, but can also increase their awareness of how important this aspect of their learning is. The most obvious place to begin is with texts that your learners have read or listened to. Here's a text from English in Mind Starter, which is about a man with cerebral palsy and how he and his father do triathlons and marathons. Once the learners have read it and dealt with it in the usual way, you could give them some of the nouns from the text, and then the learners go back and find the associated verb. So, triathlon, computer, race, 15 or 16 hours, wheelchair, will yield these collocations. Take part in a triathlon, use a computer, win the race, take 15 or 16 hours, push the wheelchair. In this way, words are brought to the learner's attention, maybe not for the first time, and they begin to look at chunks of language instead of looking at single items. Now, this task can be made a little broader and a little more challenging in the following way. The learners have read a text about a trip to an old Mayan city in Guatemala. Here's the text. Sometime later, they go back to the text and complete a grid, the grid shown here, by finding the relevant words or phrases in the text itself. They have the beginning or the end of a chunk, and they find the rest of it in the text, and they write in the missing words. Alternatively, you can ask your learners to try to fill in the spaces from what they remember, and then use the original text to check their answers. And here's the completed grid. You'll notice perhaps that, strictly speaking, not all the items are actually collocations. For example, climb to the top of the pyramid. Well, I don't know about you, but this doesn't worry me at all, since the aim of this activity is to get learners to notice language and see perhaps not only how words collocate, but also how some prepositions are used. It's a language development exercise rather than an activity that focuses exclusively on one aspect of language. The grid is not very complicated to produce. All you have to do is take some sentences from the text you're working with, split each one, and remove some parts of either the beginning or the ending. Then write them out. There's no special expertise required in this. And of course, it doesn't always have to be verbs and nouns. You can take adjectives out of a text, and the learners put them back with the appropriate nouns, or adverbs with verbs, and so on. Time spent on expanding your learners' range of lexis and on collocations and general word partnerships is time very well spent. And exercises and activities don't have to be complicated to prepare and to do.